this week we saw that the real estate market is reviving. Sales of new apartments are going up, and prices are more or less stable at the moment. But what I really want to ask is whether you think that it's worth buying in Kyiv or whether it's better to rent. So you've bought already, and so what do you think about that decision?
I think I bought at very good time when the market was reviving and banks were kind of luring in customers, giving out loans again. So, and I had some savings, so I think I made a smart decision of investing them and got a pretty good deal from the bank. And so I think if you're in that position, you should definitely buy in Kyiv. What do you think?
Well, for me it's a little bit different, since not being a Ukrainian, I don't really fall under the same legal and perhaps future-wise as well. I might not live here for as long, but for me the decision to buy is very risky. I mean, we've seen over the past years housing bubbles can burst like that, and then that means a lot of your asset just disappears. And whereas in rent you're always at the level of the market. If the market goes up, your rent goes up, but that means usually that wages and all of that else goes up as well. So you're kind of following the market, and unless you have a really good reason, like you plan to live in a city, that's your final one, and you plan to live there for 5, 10, 20 years, otherwise I would rent.
Sure, but you know, when you rent, you kind of waste this money. I mean, let's talk numbers. I was renting for 3,000 hryvnias per month. Now I pay to a bank a little over 6,000, so it's twice as much. But in 7 years, this apartment will belong to me, while you pay, for example, let's say 3,000 less than me, like twice as less. But at the end, you have nothing.
Well, that's not exactly true, because I put those 3,000 into, for example, a dollar account where you can get 8%, or I put that in equity where I gamble for even a higher stake. So,
but isn't real estate like worth more than
it can
some money
be
in the bank?
It can be, but in Ukraine, I feel like the legal situation where the security of your apartment is often put into question, and we see these cases, especially in the city center, where people come in and take over your apartment with a forged power of attorney document. That's not something that will happen to a bank account, especially when that's abroad.
I think that's very overrated. I mean, this whole horror, scary stories like picked up by some media. I mean, seriously, it happens like it's one case in 10,000, like 1 million cases or something.
Well,
I mean, what are the chances? You can get robbed on the street. People can steal money from your bank account. That's a pretty same chance as somebody stealing your apartment.
Well, that's certainly true, and there have been cases of that as well here.
Yeah.
So, I guess
You're never safe.
I guess the lesson is, limit your exposure.